Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today, I have a subscriber interview that I am looking forward to sharing with you. Also, I'm going to have a part 2 with her very soon. Before we do that, though, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. My merch is displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman, Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe, click the like button, and please leave a comment. It really does help, and it definitely matters. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get into today's upload, shall we? This picture that you are going to see is proof that these things exist. Proof that they cloak, and proof of why we cannot get a legitimate, full-on picture of one, what everybody claims to want and have, or people say they have. I don't think they do. I think this picture is the most authentic piece of photographic evidence that we will get, because these things know when we are here, these things know when we are photographing, these things know when we are videoing. And here is the proof, and here is why. And here is the woman who brought it to my attention. All right, everybody. Today I have a special guest. I've talked about her and an amazing picture that she shared with me. Today I have Margaret from Scotland. Margaret, how are you today?
Hi, Jeff. I'm good. I'm really good.
Thank you for taking some time out of your day. It's been a couple days since we communicated and tried to get our times right. So I'm glad.
No.
Now, there's a couple things that I'd like to talk to you about. The first is the attack that happened. The second would be the picture, and then to get a little history of your area. You sent me. I'm sorry, what?
I'm saying that's fine.
Okay. So you sent me that news article, and I did the upload on it about, what my opinions were. So I kind of am going to give you the floor, and you can kind of paint the picture for everybody of what your thoughts are and what's going on in your area.
When I read the article, it was the following day. I seen the article after texting you, and I was quite shocked because in the article I read it and I read it again because I thought that didn't seem right. What I thought when they said that she was found a mile from the car, I thought, oh, she's died of hypothermia. So I read it again and it never told me what the cause of death was. And I thought, well, why would a woman, because over here in Scotland, you get priority as a single woman driver if you break down, because I have in the past myself. So I thought, she's phoning an emergency and you wait 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most, and they'll come and get you first. So why does she not stay in the car? Why does she walk over fields? Because it is quite full of fields and there'll be wee streams, there's trees and everything. Whereas she could have walked 1.5 miles and she would have got to a village. I think it's a pub actually. And if she went back the way, there's a village about 4 miles back the way. So that worried me. And I thought I have to tell Jeff because it didn't add up.
Right.
And they said that she was mauled by wildlife. Now, the biggest predator we have really is a badger. Well, the badgers are near water. They don't really bother. You've got foxes which will not go near nothing unless they're stinking. And I'm led to believe it was less than 24 hours when they found her body.
Mm-hmm.
What intrigued me the most was that they never gave how she died. They never said there had been a post-mortem and she died of this, and then the animals got her. And the reporter has got a lot of really been nasty comments towards him, but all he was doing was reporting on what happened, the facts.
Yeah.
And that made me curious, and I thought I have to tell Jeff because it's no normal.
Yeah.
That's not how things are reported over here.
It didn't make sense.
And then they're saying that it's not suspicious. I think it's very suspicious. And more say with the photograph I took last week and the things that happen in the surrounding villages. And it's a status quo that if you speak about it, you're daft or you're crazy.
Okay.
But there are a lot of people who know things and they won't speak up because you just get told you're stupid.
Right.
No, but there are people out there like me, fair around here, that knows things does go on. Farmers that'll know. I spoke to a farmer that my partner knows, further up, going up to Newkirk, which is right out in the moss. And the sheep that he has, he loses a couple of sheep every winter. And the farmer knows that it ain't no foxes. It's got to be something big.
Right.
But the sheep are left in.
Now,
so there is something going over here.
That farmer that you were talking about, he's had sheep that were attacked. Yep. And now what is the condition of the sheep when he finds them?
The sheep, it's only the inside, the stomach, the lungs, the heart. Everything's soft and the rest left. Wool, head, everything. Now a fox will only do that. A fox will wait until it's right, it knows it's right dead, and then it'll start going in at the tongue or the stomach.
Right.
And this is common knowledge between the farmers up this way. They lose a couple of sheep, they put it down to. But it has been known over here that there's a big cart stalks. And I can tell you stories about that too, Jeff, later on.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
It's been seen, it's been photographed, but I don't think that's what happened to that woman.
Okay.
I don't think big cats have always been seen up this way. But I don't think it was a cat because of the picture that I took, and it's only about 18 mile. If you went through the fields for the farm over to there where that lady broke down, you're talking about 18 mile.
Okay.
That's easy enough at any Dogman.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, we spoke a little bit before, and you know, there's a radius of what, like you said, 50 miles or something, and that's Dogman. You know, I mean, a Dogman can travel that in no problem, especially being the land that you live on with a lot of woods. So you've got food, water, shelter. It's.
I told you earlier on that we used to be inundated with rabbits. You used to pay folk to come up and shoot the rabbits. There were too many, overpopulated. Okay. In the last 4 years, you're lucky if you see a rabbit up there.
Really?
So there's something in the food chain taking them, because there's nobody shooting the rabbits to keep the population down. They're just gone. And that's in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about in a 30 mile radius. Ask any of the farmers. And there's hardly a rabbit there.
That's crazy. And like you said, the food chain. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously the foxes weren't doing their job on the rabbits, so they had to have other people come in and shoot them. So there's obviously a larger, more aggressive predator in the area. Yep,
that's what we think. Yep. And as I said, my partner, he didn't believe. Yesterday, I'm listening to my stories and I don't believe that, Margaret. But now, with that picture, because he was there that day, he started opening up about different things.
Yeah.
And I think, well, why did you not say at the time? You don't. It's not something you talk about.
Right.
That's how we are. That's the way we are. Because people will put you down as, oh, she's crazy, or oh, he's not right.
Right. You're not right in the head.
Aye.
Right.
That's why we look at folk and say, oh, she's not right in the head. when in actual fact, you know you're no daft.
Yeah.
But I know definitely no daft, and Herbie's just kind of saying to himself, things aren't right.
Now, so obviously you agree with me in kind of what I said on the video, and you said that
Yeah,
there's a group of you that agree as well.
yeah.
So how is are you guys, or whoever that you live around, are you guys kind of fearful a little of what's going on, or is the tension a little higher, or no?
I'd say in my circles, I would say the tensions are high because in the summertime, it's much more happier, which the summer is, and you don't think about it as much because it's light nights and it's light mornings. But as soon as the sun's fading, you go back into, I think, what you're thinking, is there something out there? Is there something in the woods? Because you get a feeling the woods can go for chirping and birds of prey and the cows and the horses, and then all of a sudden it goes quiet.
Yeah.
And I think, well, for that to happen, there's something big.
Absolutely.
And the 2 or 3 nights, my partner has phoned and said that the horses are spooked because we have them in, it's like a back lane, so it's out with the yard, but it's attached to the yard, and the horses are spooking. Well, the horses don't spook. That's their home. And for some to spook them, a fox with me,
Yeah.
or a badger with me.
Something small like that wouldn't, I mean, like you just said, that's their home. They're comfortable there. They're,
Yes.
and obviously a horse, if it was, scared, it would kick a fox or a badger,
Yeah.
or run
Yeah.
away from it. I mean, it's not.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. So.
Yeah. He's been out a few nights, and maybe in the last week, maybe 3 times, and it's the horses that are spooking. And I thought, maybe it's the next farm. He went, the next farm's quiet, Margaret. The horses know the cows, they know the sheep. You know what I mean? They know the noises.
Yeah.
That doesn't spook them. He says there's something's not right. And that's when I told him, never go out with a gun. Don't go out with a gun, just go out and have a look, calm them down. Because I listen to your stories and I know if there's a gun involved, they know what guns are.
Right. They do.
And they do, and I've told them, don't go out with your gun, just go out, have a look, back in.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
been last week.
Now, the picture that you sent me, let's kind of talk about that day. Was the day, kind of paint me a picture of that picture, if you could.
Right, well, where the farm is, we've got a right away, it's where a lot of the walkers go. But the public can go up through and up in the forest. And we have a cornfield, and in the winter we'll put the horses up there all day, bring them back down along up the forest, up that bit a bit with the dog. I've got a wee Doberman pup, and seen the deer, and they never seen me, so I just stood and got my phone, got them on my sides, clicked. But as I clicked the camera, I seen something, and I put it down from my hand, looked at the camera, looked up, and there was nothing there. And I shouted down to my partner, come see this, and he went, what is that? I said, I don't know. So we were quite taken aback, scared, a bit relieved, because then I knew I wasn't going crazy, because things have happened and you're thinking, what did I see there? That doesn't seem right. Like feelings. So it was like, I'm no stupid here. I knew there's something here. That was my acknowledgement that I knew there's something's not right.
Right.
That was what I took out it. But the next day I phoned Herbie and I said, look, Herbie, go up, take a picture of that field where we took the picture of the deer. And if you look at that picture, the deer doesn't even know it's there.
No.
They're so calm. Well, that was taken about maybe 60 feet, maybe 60, 80 feet from where they were.
Mm-hmm.
They never smelt me or heard me, and that thing was right next to them.
Yeah, yeah. And when you showed me that picture, I I was like, wow, what is that? And I started
Uh,
looking at the detail, and
uh-huh,
whatever that thing is actually casting a shadow because you can see the deer
uh,
shadow in that
yeah,
thing's shadow.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
And
And you can see through it as if it's going invisible.
yeah,
And I thought that was 2 seconds to take a picture, notice something. I couldn't tell you what I noticed, but I noticed something when it was in the viewfinder in my phone. I thought, click, and I went, what? Put it down in my hand, had a look, looked up. That takes about 2 seconds if you're lucky. Do that motion. And I thought, ooh. And I was excited, scared, thankful that I wasn't going crazy, that the things that had been happening at the farm and doing at my house and the way up to the farm, it all added up that there's something bigger out there that we don't know.
yeah, yeah. I
That's what
think
that's what it did for me. And I think they've been there for at least 3 years. For the first time I seen the hairy leg, I thought I would have put it down as a poacher's hairy leg, a man's hairy leg, maybe with more hair on it. And that was 3 years come summer. So 3 years that it's been eerie, like things in your peripheral and you look around and it's not there. But that photo that day when I took that, I knew in my heart of hearts, I says, that's what I'm feeling.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
something here.
And I think what you caught, I mean, you can see that whatever it is bipedal, it is
Yeah,
brown in
it's
color.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big because it's maybe like a ditch, maybe about a foot dug out because that's where my partner was draining the field for the forestry.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're doing a wee gap. So what size was that? Because it's a fair height.
Wow.
What size did you think that was on the picture? 6 feet, 7 feet?
I mean I don't know how big the deer were. I was
Well, that's a big
guessing.
season deer. My partner said that's last year's deer,
Okay,
which is
so
about
uh,
2.5 to 3 feet.
yeah, I would say for judging on the shadow, at least 7 feet tops, maybe a little bigger, but no bigger than that because
My partner said.
it's
That's what my partner said.
towering over the deer,
Yeah,
and
yes.
it's
The deer never
incredible.
seen. The deer never even knew it was there. So
Yeah,
was that, and then just come out and I've got it? I don't know. Because if that was walking out the forest, I would have seen that
right,
when I was the deer.
right. And I'm surprised that the deer didn't know
Yes.
that it was there. I mean, obviously, the first thing I texted you back when you showed me that picture, I said, "Oh my God, you caught a picture of them cloaking." And that's the
Yes.
only thing that I could, because you can see a shadow. There is no debunking the picture. You
No.
clearly see a
No.
shadow, you see two
Yeah.
legs, and there is some
Uh-huh.
sort of vibration to make this
Yeah.
thing disappear like that.
Yeah. That's what I said. Straight away, I said, that's cloaking. That is cloaking. That's how we feel it, we sense it, we maybe catch it in our peripheral,
Mm-hmm.
but you turn round, it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, it is a
And I,
truly mind-blowing picture. I appreciate, thank you for sending it to me because
you
it
are
just,
welcome. You are welcome. People need to know
yeah,
because I think it's been there, and I think it knows we are there, and we're not a threat.
right.
That's what I think. My take on it. Because the night when I was in my house, when I came for the farm and had my 2 grandchildren in the house with me, staying in an overnighter, and one was going up the stair, and my wee grandson was halfway up my stairs to go upstairs to the bedrooms, and there was a growl at my front door. Now I had 2 wee dogs, and they're good wee dogs, because they bark non-stop, any and at all the bark, and my dogs lay down at my feet. But the frightening bit about that was, I was just at my front door, and it was at the other side of the door, and when that growled, I felt it in my chest. I felt the growl, and I thought it was my daughter's husband, Gary, that was up, maybe shut the door, and he was frightening us. because he's like that. And I straight away, I phoned my daughter. I went, is your Gary been at the door? Is he trying to frighten us? She went, Mum, Gary's here. And I tell her, she says, right, lock up the house, don't go out. And we spoke the next day. She goes, Mum, can they Dogman track you? I says, I don't know. But that was 2 years ago. And I've kept that with me. And I tell Heather, and I tell my old pal Sadie, and I told Herbie. And I'll never forget the growl at my door, because its head was above mine. And I was at one side of the door and it was at the other. And my dogs lay down at my feet, they didn't growl. And that's no natural, because they would growl at anything. My granddaughter was squealing, and my grandson, near enough, fell down the stairs. And he's asking, Gran, what was that? I thought it's somebody just carrying on. It's all right, pal, because I was scared.
So he heard it. So your grandson heard it, and he was going up the stairs.
And my granddaughter heard it at the top of my stairs.
Wow.
And my dogs did not bark, Jeff. My dogs lay down and just looked at the door. It's the biggest fright I've ever had. And I says to her, Heather, see if there was a dog man up at the farm. Now, this is 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I said, would it attract me, Heather? And she went, I don't know, Mum. I don't know. And then we started reading up on things, and we realised that they can't track you.
Yeah.
Your friend.
And that's around the time. It's funny that you're saying, like, you know, you said the picture recent, this happened, the girl's attack, but the 3 years ago, this thing happened 3 years ago, but you noticed 4 years ago that the rabbit started disappearing. So there's obviously, right there is proof of some sort of large predator in the area. And I mean, there's a timeline. So it's hard to dispute anything that, you know, it's all right there.
The last time I spoke to you, the night after it, I was running my granddaughter's other gran, and my van's in getting fixed, so I was walking, and in the way we're in the road, I got an awful feeling. And when Heather says, oh, Mum, you've got a sixth sense, I thought, I kind of had, because I feel things. We come in the house, and every bit of my electricity was gone cuckoo. I ended up with a new telly, my Wi-Fi was down, my heating was off, and there was a thickness in the air in my house. And I phoned Sadie, she went, don't think about it, Margaret, just go to your bed. And it was the same feeling I had when I heard the growl at my front door. And when I mean a growl, I mean loud enough for my lassie at the top of the stair to hear it, and my grandson to nearly fall down the stairs.
Right.
And that was the same feeling I had 3 nights ago.
Jeez.
And that's eerie for me.
Yeah.
Because I think, what is going on? And that picture just put it on for me.
Yeah, puts it into perspective of what really is going on. Now, your partner, he had some, a chicken or something in a coop that was locked and showed up dead too, right?
Yeah. No, they were going missing, and there were nothing could open the door, and he thought it was folks stealing, kind of like maybe youngins going in and stealing the hens, stealing that, and then it got to a part where whoever it was getting sloppy, and they were just killing them, and he thought it was foxes, and he said that when that picture, he went, I wonder if it was foxes, it's happening. The chickens are out all day, and then they go into the coop in the afternoon. He says, and you get in the morning and maybe a couple missing, but you knew you put them all in. He says, but the door was shut, so you're thinking, oh, they've been left out, and he got them. He says, then you would go in and there'd be a couple maybe with feathers left, nothing else. He says, to the finish shot, he had about 100 chickens, and he doesn't have the money there. It wasn't worth his while. He says, it wasn't worth it, Margaret, because that was me looking them in at night. He says, and they were caught missing. All within about 4 months, they were all gone. 100 chickens, because you bought them at the market.
Wow.
That's a lot of chickens.
That is a lot of chickens. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of chickens for a fox to get.
Yeah.
And he went, I wonder now. He says, I wonder. And it's all just coming out now if he's seen that photo, because he was up about 100 years from me, down at the cornfield with the horses, and I was further up to the foot of the deer. And he says, it makes me wonder now. So God knows what will come out now that this photo and different things, because he's starting to come around and tell you things. He's got a friend up in Muirkirk, which is about 9 miles from us, maybe 8 miles from Storm. And he had a spade, what he thought was dogs, like pet dogs, going into his field and chasing his sheep. And then the guy said, and the average around about was telling him he wasn't right in the head. He had said that he'd seen what he thought was a big black cat. He says, maybe it wasn't a cat, Margaret. He said, what else could it be? Because I would hear Dogman and that, werewolves and that, it's on the films and on the telly. He says, I need to speak to that guy up in Kirk again. He says, because that's only a couple of years ago. And he's saying, they're saying there's a big cat on the loose. It could be that. He never said it was. He said it could be that. He says, and I seen something dirty one night at the bottom of my big field. He says, but it slipped into the woods. So there's tales for all the farmers, and they've all got a tale to tell, but they'll not go out and sit in a pub and say it, or they'll not say it to an outsider, but they'll say it to another farmer.
Right.
Yeah,
they're not going to go out and blab it to the public because they don't want to look like they're, not right in the head,
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, with the chicken coop, my question is, with the chicken coop, could a fox really couldn't get in unless probably burrowing under? I'm trying to kind of figure out how the chicken coop is set up. So, like, whatever went in there had to have an opposable thumb, correct?
That is something, because the snip is up. Because I says to Herbie, I says, how'd the chickens get? He says, maybe I know at night you when they lock them in. He says, but most nights they're locked and it's snipped at the top with a snip. He says, but I have seen a fox, like, break a wire, chow a wire to get through to the hens. He says, and that's usually in the winter when they're starving.
Right.
He says, but that's, you hear them, you go out, you put them away or you shoot them or whatever. He says, but 100 chickens within 4 months of the winter.
Yeah, 100 chickens. 1 or 2 is one thing. 100 is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, but he says, I was blaming like folk coming in and stealing them. This is before he knew about this picture. He said, I blame folk for stealing them. I blame dogs for worrying them. He says, but now I've seen that, he says, and the thing that's been on, he says, it's plausible, isn't it, Margaret? I says, very. He says, the chicken coop was locked. He says, and the snip's up high, kind of like maybe in line with our eyes, so that you're just snipping it and putting them in, bring them out in the morning. He says, he says, that's how I don't have chickens.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Says, I don't have chickens. And he had geese too, and they went missing, and we blamed dogs, like maybe poachers on the ground with their dogs, and maybe got them, but we'll never know.
Right.
We'll never know.
No, I mean, I think you do, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can't prove it, and folk would think you were stupid, but that picture.
To me, that photo is proof enough.
Yes.
Like I said to you, I had my doctor's appointment, and I said, hey, I'm going to call you right after and get this done. And I showed my mom the picture, and my mom goes, what is that? And she caught the shadow, and my mom is kind of she's a skeptic, but not really. I mean, if you prove something to her, she believes there's something else out there and stuff like that. And, she's a Catholic, so she's got to believe in something other than us.
Yeah.
And, she's like, there's a shadow. She goes, but what is that? And then she goes, I can see legs. I'm like, yeah, I know. And because I didn't tell her anything about the photo. I just said, look at this photo. And she was like, oh my God, and it's just, that photo to me is proof enough that there is a Dogman in that 30 mile vicinity,
Yes.
So.
And also, Jeff, I think they migrate.
Yeah.
I think they do migrate. I think in the winter, because the forest that's up there is like evergreen. And you go up there and there's no space to walk in the forest. It is so tight. And then when you come down into the villages, the trees are bare, where you know there's a big forest in the summer. So I think they migrate for cover.
Yeah, exactly. Come down to your area where it's a little more covered, more prey, definitely water. Now there's obviously enough food for them. There's more than enough water. What about what sheltered areas? What do you got around there for sheltered areas? You think caves?
You've got 5 mile square of pure forest.
Okay.
And I mean thick forest. Like you couldn't walk through it.
Right.
It's thick.
So it's tight. I mean, tight enough to hide in and for these things to hide in. Now, are there caves in that area?
You what?
Are there caves in the area?
Well, it's up where we are. It's all minings.
Okay.
All mines. So there is tunnels.
Yeah.
In Herbie's Forest, there's a few manholes, and that was the air vents for the tunnels.
Okay.
And all up our way, I think there's Thorn Mine, there's the Common Raw Mine, and these are all pits that's shut down. It's been shut down for 30 years, but they've still all got the tunnels there. So there is plenty of cover.
Yeah. I mean, when I looked up, because when I did the upload for today, and I looked up the area where the lady had gotten attacked, and I looked up Moncton, and I did like a satellite image, and then I did like a reel, like a photo of it, and scrolled down, and I came across some what I was looking at was like old churches that nobody goes to, old buildings, dilapidated buildings, and stuff like that. There's a lot of that out there.
Yes, there is. All schoolhouses. You've got all miners' rows. Most of them are on ruins. But where there's mines are always mine workings. And I says to her, there's mine workings up in your forestry because they've planted maybe in the last 30 years because the trees are really, really big. But where we have a horse track, like a cross-country track, and there's 2 or 3 manholes, so it's got covers on them, and that's for the air out the mines, the mine shafts. And I think there's hundreds of ways they can get around here because these are mining villages.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, there's 10 mines, coal mines, and they're all shut down now. But all the mine shafts and tunnels are all still here.
So it's perfect. I mean, you live in a hotbed. You know, it's like a perfect place for these creatures to live. Food, water, beautiful shelters. You know, I mean, what is better for a wild creature like that than a mine? You know, obviously they're gonna be warm. You know, they can eat their food in peace. They can see in the dark. So I mean, they don't need light. I mean, it just, gosh. Now, how about some? Is there any old, like, not legends, but I don't know, like talk when you were a kid or growing up? Was there anything mentioned of animal creatures like this back in the day?
Well, my father used to stay up the Burnley, they called it. It was the Burnley, the Common Raws. And that's halfway to Herbie's farm. So you've got a mile, and then it's where my dad was born. And it's all ruins now. But when he was growing up as a boy, he said it was the eeriest place out. And at that time, there was no running water. They get the water for the outside. They did their toilet outside. It was really, really poor bit. They were all just miners. He says, and they used to go poaching. When the moon was full, they would go poaching because that was their dinner. That's the way they lived. They lived off the land.
Right.
Whether it was salmon in the water, whether it was deer, whether it was rabbit, that's what they ate. He says, and a few times we get scares, and we thought it was a man. He says, and Maggie's, God's my judge. He says, that wasn't a man. He says, and we had to lie in the ditches at the side of the road till it went past. He says, and then we ran. He said, and that was my dad's story. If ever I could remember, I'm 60. If I was a lassie, 10-year-old, he tells the story, and he always told me.
Right.
We're at the water here, and that's where Herpes Farm is, up at the water here. He says, you be very careful. He says, because that land has things in it we shouldn't see. And that was a tale I was told when I was 10-year-old. And my family kens that tale. He said, if I ever come down the road, they thought it was a man that was walking bipedal. He said that was not a man, it was like a wolf.
Wow.
Now I'm 60, that was 50 years ago. My dad told the story. And he used to do ice poaching over at the water here. Because when you had nothing, that's what they did. They went out poaching with their dogs.
Right.
Down the water, get their salmon. Beans born with things wrong. They've got the help for the council and they've got their placements and all the rest of it. 50 years ago, Jeff, I were here. They were shut away. They were shut away in a farm so that nobody could see them. That's how it was over here.
Right.
They were put away in an asylum, or if it was a family, they shut them away so nobody could see them. And my dad, when he was a young boy, him and his two brothers went down the water. And there was the very last house. There was an old farmer and he had two daughters. And the daughters had things wrong with them mentally. And he only ever let them out at night. And my father's father, my grandpa, tell the boys, if you see the lasses, you don't go near them. You come home. He says, and my father says, Mark, he says, I've seen them twice. He says, and we just packed the stuff up and come home. He says, there were things wrong with them now. He says, but back then when I was a young boy, he says, they looked grotesque. He says, and it was the old farmer that shut them away in a room and they get out at night. That's the kind of folklore we have about here.
Wow.
Things that happen, they don't talk about it.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I think I think it's pretty much worldwide, I don't think a lot of people anywhere would talk about something like that. But being on an island, it's a little different than over here in America.
But there's hundreds of stories that I get told growing up.
Yep.
And it was all about my area. And it put the fear of God in me in a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, your story from your dad would put the fear of God in me, just hearing it. I mean...
Aye. And my dad, and I'll be honest with you, my dad was a God-fearing man. He didn't go to a church, but he could quote only bit of the Bible.
Right.
He never smoked, he never drank, and he believed in God. And he always said, God will keep you right. He says, but there are things in this world that we're not meant to see.
Yeah.
He says, and I saw that when I was out, and he says, and I thought it was a man. He says, I thought it was a man walking up, and we went into the ditch thinking we could caught poaching. He says, that wasn't a man that passed us. He says, that was a wolf.
That's incredible. Wow.
Dad, and he says, Margaret, it's God's my judgment. He says, that was no a man that passed us. He says, it was no a man.
Just the way you're telling the story is giving me the chills.
Yeah. Hey, he said, he'd hundreds of stories, because my dad, he would sit at the fire and tell you all the stories when he was growing up, because they were poor.
Yeah.
They grew up with nothing.
Yeah.
And they were fed the best off the land, the deer, the venison, rabbits. So they did salmon out the water, trout out the water. But they had to go poaching that off the land.
Yeah.
He says, and the big house that's down here, Dumfries House, Prince Charles owns that. And there's a few stories about that a lot of folk that came from here would say that right enough what she's saying, because he used to poach down that land, and he said there was a lot of goings on and down there that shouldn't have been. But that's for another story.
Yeah.
But that's Prince Charles that owns that, took it over, done it all up.
That's crazy.
Brought some money to the area. But there was a lot of stories coming out of that house when my dad was growing up.
Wow.
And his father could tell him stories too. Dumfries House, Prince Charles, that's where he comes to when he comes up to Scotland.
Yeah.
Aye. But when you come for the wee villages, it's like an unwritten rule, because you don't talk about families in the past. You can talk amongst your family, and I can tell you things that my dad tell you, but it's an unwritten rule that you don't talk about it. You hush it up.
Right. Just
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that, because I'm a bit like my dad. There is things out here in this world that we shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
That photo verified to myself, my gut, that there is something there.
To me, it verified everything that I've been looking for and talking about since the day I saw my Dogman in 1994. I mean, that picture just, the way, because what I saw when I was young was not the atypical description, and I've said that before. It didn't look like the Arnold Schwarzenegger bodybuilding. It was very awkward looking, but you could tell that it was strong, it was fast. And, even though there is some sort of vibration in that picture, you can see that that thing is powerful. And it's got to be, just to be able to do that.
Yes. So. Because when I took that picture, I can assure you it was the deer I saw. I never saw that. And it takes 2 seconds to lift your phone, click it, notice something, looked at my screen, looked up, and nothing. And I'm thinking, what? And I'm shouting, come see this photo. Because I knew, I went, that's cloaking. That was going invisible.
Yeah. It was, and I think, I don't know what happened to the deer afterward, but I think it was hunting the deer, and maybe it knew that you were there and you got that picture. And
I don't think it did. Kim, I think it was there at the deer ready to pounce.
Yeah.
And I just come round the corner and got it. But I never seen it. I just seen the deer. I think I interrupted a kill.
Yep. That's what I think too. Because if you look at the picture, you obviously have studied the picture, and I have too. So I'm just saying this for the people. There's another deer in the bottom portion of that picture, and they aren't running. They're that one deer in the front. Yeah. So that was a prime kill for it.
Aye.
Incredible. So do me a favor, don't hang up. We're gonna end the interview. I want to thank you for sharing all of this with me. It really means the world to me.
You are welcome.
If anything else comes about, please keep me in the loop on that.
I will.
And if you hear, I'm sorry.
I'm not stupid anymore. The proof's there. I felt it that day. I felt it after it. I felt it before it, and couldn't deny my feelings.
Yeah, you can't. It's just, and
You'll
I know what you feel.
Yours.
Yeah, I know what you feel like, because no one believes you. You don't believe yourself. It's and then you get some sort of validation, and you're like, wow, I've got it now. So.
Definitely.
But if anything else happens, please let me know. And if you hear anything else, anybody talking about the attack, any farmers or whatever, please keep me in the loop so I can kind of update people on that too, all right?
I will. I definitely will, because I think people need to know.
All right. Is there anything that you'd like to say to everybody before we end the interview?
Yeah, I'd love to say thank you very much for listening to me, and hopefully your listeners understand me, because we're dead broad over here with the accents.
I could understand you perfectly. I think it's a beautiful accent.
Brilliant. But no, I will keep you updated, because I think it's never going to go away. I think it lives beside us. I think it lives beside us, because this is 3, maybe 4 years now. The vibes, my feelings, the peripheral views, thinking I've seen something, thinking I'm stupid in my head and going on with what I'm doing.
Right.
When in actual fact, it's maybe been there all along.
Yeah.
And then I thought, Jeff, what if it's let me see it? I thought about that last night when I was just sitting. I thought, what if it has let me see it? Has let you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't. It's crazy because I don't know. Maybe it's the same one that's in your area, or there's a couple or whatever. Because you said they migrate. You believe they migrate, but
Yeah.
I mean, you've got that one that came up to your porch, and then
Yes.
obviously,
In a village.
yeah,
In a village. I live in a village.
that's insane. And obviously, the one that was there that you took a picture of, it obviously knew you were there. I mean, they're predators. Any predator,
Yes.
regardless of what it is, knows when there's something else in the vicinity.
Yes.
So it kind of like almost like gave you permission to take the picture, kind
Yes.
of.
So has it been there for the last how many years that I've been there? And that kind of frightens me because I think, does that see her? Is he eyeing me up for his next meal?
Yeah, yeah, I don't
Like
know.
I don't know about you, but you think, will I see it again? Is it
I don't.
there?
I think you're safe for now. You know, like we had said. I think
Uh-huh.
when you had talked about your friend with the farmer with the gun, and you said don't go out with a gun. You know,
Uh-huh.
I think maybe it's kind of just letting you know it's there.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I would just be on your you know, keep an eye out. Keep an eye
Yeah.
out on the grandkids and everybody because
Yeah.
obviously it's not just hunting animals now with the woman that was attacked.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a whole different. Like,
That's,
I don't even
yeah.
understand that because, you know, I kind of found it humorous how the media painted the picture, but they didn't really paint the full picture. They just said she was found mauled or partially devoured. Well, what did she die of? You know, there was no picture painted there.
No. And then no suspicious circumstances. Well, that's not how they report over here.
Right.
Those, because the 3 young teenagers has been missing for about 6 months now.
Really?
They've never been found either.
There's been 3 teenagers missing in that area.
Yeah. In the area between Glasgow's about 38 mile away from us.
Now, did they disappear together? Were they together when they disappeared or separately?
No, separate occasions. They've gone separate.
Okay.
And I'm going back 6 months. They've been for about 6 months. One of them, about a year for another one. I keep up to date with folk going missing and everything because my mind thinks, well, where are they? People, they don't just go into thin air.
Do me a favor if you don't mind. Send me a couple links to those kids missing because
I will.
I mean, right there, a 50-mile radius. Scotland isn't a very big country anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
Glasgow's
so
8 mile for us.
That's crazy. I didn't realize there was 3 missing kids out there too.
Yeah, and that's quite regular. Maybe they'll find a body and it's been out in the field for that long that it's just due to the elements. But
right.
Is it really the elements or how they found there?
Yeah. What killed it for? What killed the poor child for it to, you know, be left out in the elements? There's a cause of death. There's always a cause of death.
Uh-huh.
And here really quick because we forgot. I don't know. With the woman, you looked up the weather. It wasn't a freezing night that night either.
No.
There was no snow. So I mean that makes no sense either.
A mile's nothing
for
to walk. A mile's really nothing. And there's no way she would have left that car. I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And I would leave my car to go in a field. I would leave my car to walk on the main road because you know somebody will stop and go, is everything okay? Do you need a lift?
Right. And like how you said with AA, the women always come first.
Yes, women get priority.
Yeah.
Every time.
That's incredible.
So dead iffy.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And I might phone the reporter because they're usually quite good. Because he's getting a lot of stick off the public. They're saying he shouldn't have said that about the woman Bennett, and then a lot of the comments are, well, what did she die of? He's telling you what they're saying she died of. Don't take it out in the reporter. The reporter is only reporting what
he's
been told.
Yeah. He's
So
not.
I'm going to see if I can get the reporter.
Yeah, if you do, let me know, please.
I will. I might see if I can get a hold of him, because somebody has said if he's on the post that I read, there's the reporter's number if you want to give him a ring and tell him what he's thinking. I thought, I'm going to keep that number.
Yeah.
I'm going to, for the very opposite, I'm on his side, because they will only report what they're told, because over here, if you report false information, you're done with that.
Yeah. There's a whole different set of rules and laws over there than here.
Definitely a full different set of law. If you report something and it's wrong, you'll get done with that. You'll get charged with that.
You could end up in jail, couldn't you?
Yes. Yeah.
False reporting.
So he only reported, and I thought, Ken, that's wrong. The guy's only doing his job. And I feel sorry for the women it's happened to, but if I was her family, I'd be asking a lot more questions.
Absolutely. And that was my thing when, I was reading the article, and I'm like, well, maybe they're just different with their news over in Scotland, and maybe they don't disclose anything until, the case is closed or something. But no, you said usually it's on that day or the day after, woman found, and she should have been, that news article that I read should have been on the 19th of December instead of January 10th.
Yes. So that's a reporter that's maybe into things like that. So that reporter might have some stories that I don't know.
Yeah.
But what you said, if the body was found in the 18th, 19th of December, a week would give you a post-mortem, and then they would tell you what happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
So this reporter picked that up because he knows something's not right.
Yeah, he obviously does. But maybe he
kind of published, because he would get charged for that.
Yeah.
So he's public. He's what he's been told.
Yeah, and he's keeping his mouth shut. He can't, like in America, we can, our media can make, assumptions very easily without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
But over there you can't.
I think that reporter said there's something's not right here, I'm going to put this out here, see what folk think. And 90% of the public has said, well, what's your deal? Faults in a badger, I'm not kill you.
Yeah, I mean, you'd really have to be, you'd have to live in a city all your life and be a complete ignorant person to think that a fox and a badger would actually be able to kill a human being.
Yes.
You kick it away from you, and you kick it hard.
And if she died of a heart attack, they would have told you that.
Yeah.
If she died of hypothermia, they would have said that. If she died of exhaustion, they would have told you that.
Yeah.
Because the plenty that's reported every other, no week, I'd say every other month, there's something, and the details are there. But they'll put it down as none peculiar about it.
Yeah, this doesn't, no speculative, it does not suspicious, not suspicious.
Well, I would say that was very suspicious.
Just that statement alone, just putting that statement in that news article alone is suspicious.
Of course it is, and people's no stupid, but a lot of people will think, oh, you don't know what's out there. That's what I would have said. You don't know what's out there. You don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Could be on it. They'll not put pen to paper and say that could be a dogman or that could be a big cat, because they don't want to look foolish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's a shame, because if there is things out there, then folks should be aware.
Everybody should be aware.
The government shouldn't be hiding it either.
No.
It really shouldn't.
Exactly. I agree 100% with you. So I appreciate everything, man. You have no idea how much this just the picture alone, and being able to talk with you about the politics of the news over there it's really enlightening for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But any and at all, I'll start sending you
Yeah, please. I'd love to read some of those articles about the three missing kids. How long
Yeah.
ago was that?
And there's young, it's maybe about 7 months now. And my daughter's friendly with the boy's mother, and they have no a clue
Wow,
what's
that's sad.
happening. And the other two yins for a local village. And see, they think, everybody thinks Scotland's a wee place, and it's really no, Jeff. It's very desolate. You have wee villages, you have big towns, like Glasgow and Edinburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And then it filters down to like no so big of towns, and then it's the wee villages. And in between all that is like forestry, farms, agriculture. And the further up north you go, it's mountain terrain. So it's a perfect place to get lost.
Yeah.
Or to be made out you're lost.
Yeah, yeah, there's not a lot of, I mean, I'd love to go over there and look at, just kind of venture
Beautiful,
around
beautiful.
Scotland.
It's got a lot of like, by stories for
Yeah,
the old folk. It's passed down through generations. Because that's what the entertainment was. It's the same like you sail over there.
yeah, it was sitting in your living room by the fireplace if you had one and telling stories to each other.
Telling stories. And that's what I had all my life growing up. My sister, my brother, my aunties. That's what you done.
Yeah.
You tell stories of what happened when you were a boy, or what your grandfather told you when he was a boy. And a lot of it adds up to a lot of things that's going on right now.
Yep. Well, do me a favor, don't hang up. I appreciate you coming on and doing this interview with us. Please keep me in the loop on everything, please.
I will.
All
I
right.
will. Promise.
Margaret, thank you for coming on today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for listening.
No, I appreciate it. It's been an honor for me.
Brilliant.
All right, guys, the reason why I re-uploaded this is because I really honestly think that people really need to hear this. People really need to stop, look at this picture with an open mind. There is clearly something there. I know, once again, probably people will be like, that is nothing but a stick or something. And I'm almost wondering if people are looking at the wrong thing, because I brought this picture to a teacher of photography at my local college, and which is a SUNY college, which is Southern University of New York State. And he stated to me, he goes, there is nothing that could have made this anomaly unless something was there. He goes, and I don't know what, I've never seen anything like this. He goes, I've seen pictures of like apparitions and stuff like, he goes, but this is different. Because there's something physical there. So, I don't know. But people will think what they want to think, and you're allowed to. I mean, I'm not going to try to force people to see something that they can't see. But maybe that's why maybe that's why some people see Dogman and Bigfoot and some people don't. But we're all in the same kind of family. We all love the experiences and the information of these creatures. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's upload as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I want to thank you all, and may the Great Spirit be with you all, and may He guide us down that path that we call life.